Check 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you know what? I unmuted it, but I didn't hear the button. I can try it.
Check 1, check 2. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Test 1.
I've closed it down, but it's okay. We'll do it. Oh, look at you.
It's not working. What?
Your mic is on now.
The mic is on.
It's off.
No, it's on. Red is on.
Yeah.
Dankeschön.
Yes, now you're live. You wanna do a mic check?
Hello.
You've never done one? My wife still hasn't done one.
No, I have no idea.
Okay,
Oh, we've been fun.
welcome everyone to our first meeting in 2+ years in Chambers. I'd like to call this meeting to order and for the flag salute. So if we could stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, may I have roll call, please? Present.
Sorry about that. Vice Chair Sticks,
Present.
Commissioner Van Natta,
Present.
Commissioner Paulson, Commissioner Lewis, Commissioner George. Thank you.
Thank you. And is there a motion and a second to excuse Commissioner Flash tonight?
I motion to excuse Commissioner Flash.
Sorry, I think,
There we go.
There.
I motion to excuse Commissioner Flash from tonight's meeting.
I'll second it.
Thank you, thank you. And if there's no objection, we will show Commissioner Flash excused. Okay.
So only 3 microphones can be on at one time. Which is so odd.
So we're learning. Right. First time back in Chambers, which feels really good. Okay, so may I entertain a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. And so now we're next on to the approval of the minutes. And do we have any adjustments or changes for the minutes for April 13th?
I have an adjustment.
Thank you, Amy.
So if you look under 8 reports, 8.2 committees, under Newcastle Chamber of Commerce, there's a note about the cookbook, which is a separate committee from the chamber. So I would either create a separate header and name it as cookbook committee or delete it altogether.
And do you have a preference?
I don't.
So since it's not related to chamber and we really didn't have a discussion, I would propose that we just remove it from the conversation list.
That's fine by me.
So do we have any objections? So if no objection, then we'll just show that elimination of the cookbook conversation removed from the chamber conversation.
Thank you.
So with that, then, could we have a motion to approve the minutes for April 13th, 2022?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the last meeting.
Okay, great, fair enough. And do we have a second? Right. And if there's no objection, we'll show the minutes for April 13th, 2022 to be approved. Great, thank you. So, do we have any public comment?
Hi. I can go to the podium if you want, or is it okay if I sit here? Okay,
Just
thank you,
right-
thank you.
Right there.
I'm just stopping by for a few minutes tonight, just to,
Can you introduce yourself?
sure, I am City Manager Rob Lyman, for the record. Get my timer going here, I will not take 3 minutes, I promise you. As you all know, I think, you know, my time here is winding down. My last day is this Friday, May 13th, so two more days after this, and I just wanted to come by tonight and well, say bye, first of all, but also primarily just to say thank you for all the work you guys do here. For many of you, many years of this work, predating even the CAC. You know, the fundraising work, the just powerhouse work of beautiful ideas and keeping things organized and everything, and even your work for the chamber as well prior to this. And I know what goes into this, to putting on events and doing all the things you guys do, and it's a lot more complicated than the average resident understands. And so I know that takes a lot of time and energy, and I just want to thank you for all you've put into this. And from my perspective, it's made my job, the city, you know, the work at the city so much better and easier having you guys here. We wouldn't be doing any of this stuff without you. I mean, there's no way. So I just wanted to thank you for that and your continued work in doing it, for making Newcastle such a great place. So under 3 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Thank you. And with that, I'm gonna.
Well, thank you, and
Thank
I
you,
just
Rob.
think for all of us, thank you. We are all here because you were a part of our appointment, and I personally.
I might have voted against one of you, who knows, but that's a joke. I'm joking. I had nothing to do with any of the appointments, but thank you for that.
And we wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And like I mentioned to a couple of you, I'm going to plan on showing up for Newcastle Days this year and maybe at least the Alan White concert for summer concerts and saying hi. So I look forward to that.
Better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
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 And thank you for making time tonight.
Of course.
That's really special.
Yeah. This is my last, I guess, public meeting, last late meeting. So yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
off
pretty
you
exciting.
go.
Off I go, just like that.
Off on a happy note.
Thank you, thank you,
Thanks,
thank
Rob.
you, that's really. And so, do we have any other public comment?
We do not.
All right, thank you. So, next to commissioner comments and celebrations. So I'll just take a first start and say we have Amy has chosen to celebrate her birthday with us tonight, so we've got some treats that we'll for later, but want to wish you happy birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Commissioner Lewis.
My birthday was 2 days.
Yes.
I turned 80.
Birthday week. Yay!
Commissioner Lewis, your microphone is muted.
Sorry. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, I can't say it was an entirely happy birthday, getting older up into that decade, but friends had a wonderful party for me. So anyway, thank you.
Happy birthday. Yep, Commissioner.
It's great to see you guys all face to face again after so long, so I'm really thankful for that. And also the spring colors blooming, it just makes me happy.
Commissioner Magna?
Same. It's great to be back in person, and look forward to moving forward and the days getting longer, sunshine being out. Mood enhancer.
I'm just celebrating the feeling of life getting to somewhat back to normality, and being able to meet with all of you in person is just a delight.
Thank you, and I just grateful that we're in person. That just feels really special. Okay, so let's move on to our reports. So our communications manager.
Hello. In the thrill of our first in-person meeting, I left the printout of my report sitting on my desktop rather than in front of me. So I'm going off of memory. Please forgive imperfections. Wanted to let you all know that Bob Larson, our interim city manager, begins on Monday. And the search for a new city manager is going to be handled by the Prothman Group. So if you know anybody who would be a fabulous city manager, please spread the word. Probably of at least equal interest to this group is the events and recreation coordinator position has been posted, and my understanding is that there have been a good number of applicants already. It's been up just since Saturday, I believe. So we're getting a very good, a lot of interest in it. Also, obviously, please, if you know anybody who would be a fabulous fit for recreation and events coordination, highly encourage them to apply. We would be thrilled to have somebody who knows you and who knows the community and who knows the events and would be coming in, you know, if we can fake some institutional memory from a new person, that would be just absolutely delightful. But I feel confident that we're going to have a good person in that role, just based on the numbers that we're seeing so far. People are excited to work with you. All the concerts have been filled. I am thrilled about that. We've got Cherry Cherry, the Neil Diamond cover band, kicking us off on July 20th. Followed by Soul Searching on July 27th, which that's how my husband's going to be spending his birthday, is coming to see one of our summer concerts. So made sure that we got someone good for him. Seattle Solid Gold's big band will be on August 3rd. And Alan White and his band White are going to be playing August 10th. They were not able to join us for Newcastle Days, but did have an availability for August 10th, and we're very excited that's working out. And the fabulous Murphtones are going to be closing out our concert series on August 17th. I also wanted to let you know about something just really cool that happened yesterday. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife restocked Lake Boren with rainbow trout. You're nodding like you might have seen it on the internet. So the Department of Fish and Wildlife replenishes lakes and streams throughout Washington every year for anglers to be able to, do their angling. And they brought this giant truck full of fish with a giant hose and basically just shot fish into the water, and it was a thrill to behold. There were a couple of little kids who were there for the event too. They didn't show up on social media because we didn't have their media releases, but there happened to be some toddlers in the park that day who got to see the fish cannon, and that was a really fun event. Like not only just watching the fish, but watching a 2-year-old watch the fish was really nice, and Kelly got to come along for that as well. I believe that's everything that I wanted to tell you, but if I had actually brought my piece of paper over, I would be able to tell you for sure. If it's really important, I'll call you. Thank you.
So are there any questions? Yes.
Can you send us a list of those concert dates and the?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. It's just fun to feel the energy. Yes, Commissioner Lewis.
This may be out of order, since I'm always the historical person, and Kate was really involved with this. The our Newcastle history map is out. It's available, so I brought some for all of you, and it was very well done. A whole bunch of people got involved. Oh, you have one?
They were in our mailboxes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's all right. We'll take an extra and share. That's just great.
You know,
Yeah.
The mailbox for so many years was never checked. I guess I need to start doing that, because when you check it, there was nothing there.
Right. Yeah, well, we're just back in the moment. So thank you. That's Commissioner Lewis, a great kickoff for our, for our committees. And so we have Commissioner Flash is going to send an update to Commissioner Six in terms of, what's going on. So we'll see that posted and ready for the council packet next week. So with that, Commissioner George, please.
Alrighty. So last Friday, the chamber hosted a reception for outgoing city manager Rob Wyman, which had been postponed from late April due to his illness. And it was attended by chamber members, local community folks, local businesses, like the Newcastle Library team was there. A lot of us hadn't seen each other in person for a while, so it was really nice. Chief Hagan from the fire department stopped by on behalf of the Bellevue Fire Department, and I don't know if Kate or Kelly saw, but they had a special hat, a special helmet made up for him from a retired fire department hat. So I just wanted to publicly thank the chamber and Tapatio for hosting that. It was a really nice time. I do have another little update, it's not as positive or not as fun, but I do think the CAC should be aware because it is, it does potentially affect the work that we do. Depending on whether or not you've been following city council meetings as of late, there is considerable anxiety among local business owners. There was a recent public records request for the Small Business Rapid Relief Program. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, 2 years ago there was $70,000 of CARES Act funds that were awarded to in the form of small grants to local brick and mortar businesses who applied through the city and met the eligibility. The anxiety in the business community is fairly widespread, regardless of whether they applied for the grants or not. Fortunately, it sounds like it hasn't affected the support for Newcastle Days, but we should be aware that our business owners are feeling anxiety over this public records request. Some of them express concern that they're being scapegoated as part of an agenda. And a number of them are really discouraged because, as you know, our local business owners aren't just business owners, but they're also Newcastle residents. I mean, these are neighbors asking for financial records of other neighbors. And, hopefully, that doesn't get lost in the heated rhetoric. I'm happy to answer any questions about that, should people want, but I wanted to share it with the group because I do think we should be aware.
Can I just ask, Amy, who's asking for the records?
It is a public records request that came in. I don't know that I know who has requested it, but it's a public records request that's come in.
It is a council member that has requested that
Oh,
information.
I see, okay.
Yes. And I can just share, so as Ed and I have been going out talking to all the local businesses, a couple of them have mentioned their surprise that that information was being requested. I can tell you with certainty that those businesses also shared with me that they were still interested in supporting our events, that that was an important part of how they felt they could contribute to the city. And so Ed and I have been very sensitive to their comments and also showing them our support and that the CAC totally supports them in all their efforts. So.
And I think it's public record or public information that if you're interested, just going out and listening to the last city council meeting will give you some pretty important insight in terms of where that's going.
I really appreciate that information, Amy, because as I'm talking with community businesses about Newcastle Days, I will be sure to be super sensitive about that and, appreciate them for all their support.
Just based on, my interactions with other business folks, I think they'll appreciate, having that approach.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner George. Any other questions? That is, I appreciate you bringing that to our awareness. I think that's important in terms of what we're trying to do for bringing our community together, and this holistic engagement is really important. Okay, next, neighborhood leaders.
So officially, we have renamed the group. It is now called Newcastle Neighbors Group. We felt it important to rebrand the group so it didn't feel like it was just open to HOA presidents or a neighborhood of anything. It's just neighbors. It's Newcastle Neighbors. And since we've done that, we've actually gotten 6 new members join us, which is really exciting. We have our first public gathering on May the 18th. Amy, Patty, and I have been working with Kate and the chief on an agenda. So we're going to have it here in council chambers starting at 6:30. Doors will open at 6. We'll have refreshments. And we've got 19 members that have already said yes. And several of them have said they would like to bring friends and neighbors. I said, just let us know who that is so we have a good head count. Chief will be talking about public safety in Newcastle. Kate's going to talk about communications, right, and the importance of communications. And then Amy, Patty, and I are going to talk about engagement and involvement. So also give us the opportunity to talk to them about volunteer opportunities. But it's not going to be so much anymore as far as, what they can do as far as helping to support the city, but more importantly, what do they want information on, and how can we continue to grow the group and create an environment that they feel that they're, first of all, they're being listened to, and second of all, if they have any concerns or things that we need to take action on, that they feel like, we can then follow through with it. So I'm excited about it. I think we're all excited about it. So that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Great, thank
And
you.
you guys are invited too. So, if you come as a private citizen, then it's not a public meeting, right?
I need to check with Paul on this, but the way that it usually would work is if you're not all talking about city business, if some of you are just there listening, I think that is fine. It gets tricky if more of you would want to speak or actually, you know what? As I'm saying this, I think because it is city business, we would have to notice it. So let us know if you're going to have a quorum in attendance, which would be 4. Otherwise, you should certainly feel free to come, and we'll make sure that it's appropriately noticed. Thank you.
So, we're dancing the rules, and we'll, based on leadership here. So I think, next, of course, I think the bulk of the conversation for tonight is really around focusing on next steps for Newcastle Days. But for all of our committee representatives, please make sure that Nathan has an update so that we can get that to him in the morning, so that can be posted in the packet. That seems to be a really effective way, or is proving to be a really effective way to communicate with council of what's going on, and then, you know, when we have specific issues that where we need to be present, we will do that. But
The activities by kind of area of the park, what's going on. So I'll have that for our next meeting, I think. We've walked through some of the marketing ideas and have started a cadence of all the marketing activity we want to do. We've talked with Tony, I think we talked about this at our last meeting too, about helping with the videos. Amy is working with the chamber on the beer garden and is also working with the library on the story walk and other ways they might want to participate. Open questions right now are week of celebration. And Kim, I know you signed up for that. I was looking at our notes from the last 2 years yesterday, and it's about time to start on week of celebration, and then we started on the parade and stuff mid-June last year. So the Saturday night concert, I think, is still open. And I know, Kate, you had asked us to listen to the Band of Eden or the Eden Band.
Yes, there's a band called Eden, which is the artists who were members of Shaggy Sweet with a new lead singer.
I can show you
I-
later, maybe
okay.
after tonight. I just, I,
Technology challenge.
That's okay, we can help.
I'll help you find it. I listened to them and I don't love them.
Okay.
I just think they had a great number of clips out there where we could actually hear the singer. So it was just a lot of guitar riffs. So I'm actually not sure how they would play at Newcastle. But what I was wondering if you guys would mind if I would maybe send out some clips of them along with, there's an Eagles tribute band. So I'll try to find that and send out some links to that and have you guys listen to it and take a vote if that's all right.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds great. Whatever you guys are excited about, I'm excited about. I was mostly going off of what I'd heard good buzz about in years past, but if it's not quite the same band as it was before, then
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bummer not to have Alan White there.
yeah.
Again, because the 12th, which is just 2 days later, is Alan White Day, but, you know, we'll have to bring that up somehow at his concert in August. I've reached out to the car folks. I forgot to check my email today, so I don't know if they replied. And then, do we want to do a poster T-shirt contest this year? I know you headed that up last year. I think, yeah, last time. So I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about doing that again this year, or just have the agency design them like we have in the past.
You know, that's a good question. I mean, we had a reasonable, so the challenge is, we've had
Commissioner Vanetta, your microphone.
there we go, now I can come on. It wouldn't turn on earlier, too many people. So we've had, we had a reasonable interest or activity around it. What I would worry about is, you know, something not necessarily being in line with what we want, because we obviously can't control what's submitted.
Yeah.
So it might be better to let the professionals do that, especially if we're looking at it as potential, you know, any resale or anything like that. It's probably better to just have.
Yeah. Okay. That's.
Yeah.
For you.
So thank you. This was one of the things I was wondering about. So this is something that had been sent out to a graphic designer in the past. Oh, I thought it was something I was going to have to do. I'm excited.
No, we've had the same person do the posters for the last several years, and you can look at them. They all kind of follow a similar theme, and it's been 2 years. So you know, if you don't want to follow that theme, I think it's totally fine. But it's not something that we on this committee do. We hire it out.
That's fantastic news. Thank you.
And the T-shirt, we just have to make sure that all the sponsors are on there per our sponsorship agreements. I think we just put the big ones on, but the little ones not on the T-shirt. We list them elsewhere. I have to look again. So, okay, that's cool. That's good to have a decision on that. Did you guys want to sell T-shirts this year? Last time we had a reason to sell them because it said 25th anniversary. This time we really don't. So my vote would be no, we don't sell T-shirts, but I didn't know how you guys all felt. Okay, good, okay, cool. So for our next steps for Newcastle Days on the Community are to put together the list of vendors and performers who will identify and then identify how many spots we still have open, and then we'll start reaching out to people We need to work on a list of volunteer needs for Patty and having the activities nailed down. I think we can start working on that list. And like last time, Patty, we'll go ahead and put a list together of what the event is, how many volunteers we need for how long, and what their roles are.
So what I was thinking, that, and you tell me when, but I'm thinking for sure before our next meeting, that I would send an email out to our 2019 volunteers and see who's interested.
Yeah.
And if I have a rough idea of who we need for what, give them an opportunity to participate and sign up first.
Yeah.
And then we can start promoting through the Newcastle newsletter and, our normal ways of reaching out. So
Okay.
as soon as you're ready with that,
Okay.
then we're good to
Okay, good.
promote it.
That's
And-
about perfect timing. I was almost gonna say it's a little too early, but if you're talking like after our next meeting, I think that's perfect.
I think if we get by the 1st of June,
Okay,
we're good, because
Okay.
then that gives people 3 months to plan and work it into their schedules, and that
Yeah.
seemed to be a really good rhythm. Because I was looking back at some of the communications that we had when we were posting with the, in 2019, and we didn't get a lot of responses until early June. So I
Okay.
think that gives us a great opportunity, and then we have a whole
okay.
host of people that might be interested in
Okay,
participating.
so we'll work on putting that list together for you. I think we have the list from last time to use as kind of a guideline.
And I think
Should be
the thing that I think I've learned and we've learned is that when we can be specific about what
Mhm.
is, what they're volunteering for and what the time frame is, then that makes it really easy for
Yeah.
people to participate and say
Yeah.
yes or not.
That's what, okay, so you just made me think of the whole setup process. So during our next meeting, we're gonna have to kind of finalize the setup process for the vendors, and that will define how many volunteers we need in the morning, I think. So I'll put that on our list for the agenda for the next meeting.
But I think also we can also, I think we can, with our previous volunteers, it can be a little bit broader in
Mhm.
terms of, here's the maybes, and we'll come back to you the specifics so that,
Yeah,
they can say, I'm interested in this and I'm happy to communicate with the specific details that they might need. And then we'll fill in the gaps with communicating out to the residents in
Okay.
terms of who might be. And we'll be talking about this at the neighborhood leaders meeting.
okay, cool.
Um,
And hopefully we can get Carlos back.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
I
helpful.
think we'll.
So the next step for us is to finish up our marketing plan, including community outreach as well as stuff like banners and T-shirts. Reach out to the car show team, which I did yesterday. Book the food vendors, which Kate, it feels like you have that well under control.
I think I do. We'll find out together, but that's what the instinct says.
Also, I wanted to close out the action items, and I'm not going to go through the action items tonight, but I just printed out action items for everybody. If you wouldn't mind just passing them out and getting back to me on email if you have an action item, that would be awesome. And then I'm gonna put together a skeleton of the timeline so we can start filling in all the gaps on the timeline. I don't know if I'll have that by next meeting because we're gonna be kind of out doing stuff for the house build for a bit. So I'll try to get that by the next meeting, but I can't promise that one. And then we need to finish reaching out to paid vendors, people like the Party Princesses, etc. Nathan reached out to Dizzy's Bus. I've got a few other outreaches out. And then we start the parade planning. Last year we started it like the second week of June or something, so we'll get that on the schedule. Next meeting, are you guys available the Friday before Memorial Day? I know Nathan used to do work.
I am not, but you can either meet without me and email me my assignments, or I'm available the previous day.
Okay, all right, I'll set something up for Thursday then. Perfect. So that's all I have tonight. Do you guys have any questions? I brought my computer with all the plans in case you have any questions or wanted to review anything else.
Deb, I have a question. So we have a city newsletter going out Friday this weekend, and I wanted to know if we should do a call for booth vendors, which was the original plan, but I didn't know how things were with the sponsors and whether we should go ahead and do that or we should wait another 2 weeks.
Do you think we should wait, Nathan? So, no?
No, do it.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, the application does not
Okay.
guarantee a spot.
Right,
So,
right.
So
Okay.
it just would be, putting it in. And I also wondered if we needed to do an additional follow-up call for performers, since I believe the deadline is June 1st.
Oh, no, that's right. I forgot about that. Let me see if I can before tomorrow. I'll go home and do it tonight. Put together the list of performers we have so far. Because I know that I've reached out to some and they've said, yes, I want to do it, but they haven't sent in forms. So, yeah, I don't have enough to fill all the slots, but we also need to look at getting a band, which is going to they usually take a half hour for setup. They play a full hour and then half hour for takedown. So that's actually taking up a big chunk if we get another band during the day.
At like the end of the day.
Well,
instead of this thing.
We had a band at the end of the day a couple years ago, and it was kind of like during the quiet time of the park,
Yeah.
so nobody really was there. So I was thinking that we might want to do it over the lunch hour instead.
Hmm.
But it does take a huge chunk out of our local community performance time. So that's something that we probably need to discuss and decide on, is the band.
You know, but it can't hurt to put a follow-up performer call in there, just
Yeah.
as a last reminder to anybody who may have missed it.
I wonder if we could put in a little teaser, like filling up fast, get your application in now.
So that means our official save the date would go out early June, before the town hall meeting, or around that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have a nice variety of people signing up so far, from singers to dancers, and so I think it's going to be a super fun day. And why don't you let me take a look at that list of performers, and then we can decide the band, or do you want to talk about it further tonight and say we definitively want a band, or we have so many community performers we don't want to do that?
And so I can redirect the conversation however you like, but I've got a couple of thoughts. One, we had an experience this weekend with an amazing mariachi band.
Oh, really?
And so if there was interest of having, during the day of having this mariachi band circulating through the park, and I've reached out to them, and so you can, you who are planning, can let me know if that might be of interest, and then we can, but they were amazing, they were engaging, amazing vocalists, and, potentially time in the beer garden, so a thought in terms of the cultural bit
Yeah.
that, we're trying to bring in. So you let me know.
Do you know when I'd love that for is people come early to set up to watch the band. The band needs, like Alan White wanted a full hour to set up, right? So people are gathering in the beer garden, they're setting up in front of the stage, and there's nothing going on. Wouldn't that be the perfect time for something like that?
They might, do a little, or just circulate through the park.
Yeah.
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 So a thought, and if that's of
Yeah.
interest, I'm happy to
Do you have the name of them so we can
pursue.
go listen?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
didn't even, I know who I can contact,
Okay.
but I didn't do anything until I was.
All right.
And the other thing, this pony carousel thing is becoming very challenging. There aren't many available, and the response has been like this. And there's also appears to be some resistance to the idea of ponies on a carousel.
Oh, really?
So I'm just teeing that up, and I'll continue to see if we can find somebody, but there's appears to be a movement locally of,
Okay.
not the
That's good to know.
best thing for ponies, and so
So, Patty, what we talked about a little bit last time, if we couldn't get the ponies, is potentially moving the petting zoo over to the kids zone.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room over there, and then we have that space open, and maybe creating a second stage area, just for like little local performer, have a juggler, or,
I think the petting zoo and the interactive, that still seems to be really positive.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to pursue. I'm not getting very good response for the couple of
Well, and the
potential
prices
vendors.
too are really high.
What's that?
The prices too are really high.
Yeah.
They've really
Yeah.
gone up since
Oh, yeah,
last
I
year.
found one actually in Thurston County that was as close to our budget from 2019, but I haven't heard back
Okay.
to know if they're available.
So I'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting too, so if we can reimagine what we would do with
And
that space.
you let me know, and then I'm happy to continue following it, but it's pretty interesting to see. There just aren't many options anymore locally. There's plenty if people want to go to Pony Farms, and, but nothing, coming like on the carousel sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's,
They were on the carousel last time, right?
yeah, they were.
Okay, interesting. Maybe we can just get the dogs and they can have
Well,
a
that's what I
petting,
was-
a dog petting.
I was thinking about like what other kind of animal encounter, because that's always popular, right?
And that's
So-
really the point, I think.
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
to-
is there a different kind of animal encounter that we could pursue?
The St. Bernards weren't there in 2019, but I think they were there several years
I
before
think
that.
they were there in 2000, but they weren't there the year before, maybe?
Oh.
There was,
Okay,
I feel like they were there one of the years that
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
But not the
So
other.
just something, and just let me know.
no, it's good,
And
it's good
happy
to
to-
know. I actually am happy to reimagine what we do with that space.
Yeah.
Especially in light of the concern around the carousel.
Yeah, so.
All right,
Heat a demonstration.
Yeah, no, we don't need.
but maybe even with that area, instead of having the, no, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I was gonna say the character actors roaming, maybe we just have like Disneyland, they sit there and people walk up and take their picture with them
Yeah,
there.
there might
So,
be another way
there's
to
all kinds
just
of ideas.
interaction with the kids, but.
Yeah. So if we
in
don't
that
have the
kind-
ponies, then could we potentially reuse that money to get things like a juggler or a magician or, you
Yeah.
know, just to be in that area? Okay.
Our budget is very flexible when it comes to things that are within the event, so we wouldn't run into administrative problems if we can't get ponies in particular, but we have something else that we'd like to do for entertainment at the event.
Okay.
There's no barrier there.
Okay. We have our job cut out for us. Okay, cool. Are there any other questions on Newcastle Days?
I have sad news about the Hazen Band. They're going to be playing at the Husky Band Day, and I would imagine that the Liberty Band will as well. And that means that the cheer won't be there, so.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well, they're cute down there about that. But anyways,
Yeah.
but he offered to, he says they go every other year, so next year, Chris Coy, he would be happy to be
Okay,
Newcastle Days, so you got that commitment.
good. That's good.
And you gave me, potential performers.
Yeah.
And we got Neil is covered, the bagpipers coming. I have a question. It says dragon dancer. Previously, we tried to get someone to basically nearby to pay for dragon dancers, and I don't know if that's reasonable or who would contact Aegis.
I need to get back with Elizabeth about the bingo game and then their senior singers for the stage, so I can ask her.
Okay, thank you.
Oh. Well, she was interested. She expressed interest in it when I asked her if they would do it, but she had to take it to her board.
Did you see my email?
It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could get some.
Maybe the Y would do it if they just won.
Okay, so thank you for that great update. And I know you reach out to us to help us move this, help you move this forward. So is there anything else that we need to bring to the table for conversation? Kate, you good?
It's a very short agenda today.
Actually, I just have a quick question on the summer bands. Were we gonna invite anybody, any community businesses to have a table there at all? I know we talked on and off about it, but what did we decide on that?
My understanding was that we had decided not to, but if you all want to rethink that, we can rethink it.
We've never had community businesses there, but I just thought, wow, if we could get 5 or 6 there each band, it would be great exposure for the community businesses. But, you know, it involves table rentals and setup and tear down and somebody to babysit the booths. But again, it's great exposure, so I don't know.
Well, speaking from the perspective of some of the businesses, it's past their business day, and that can sometimes be problematic in terms of staffing. I mean, they absolutely love the exposure, but I know when similar events have been asked of them in the community that presents a challenge sometimes.
Okay. If that's a challenge, I mean, I think the concerts are there's so many people that go. The exposure to me would be worth it, but I completely get it, especially with, you know, shortages of labor going on.
Well, one of the questions I've been getting from a lot of the businesses, because I've been talking to them about, you know, vendor booths and having a table, and they kind of giving me that look of, well, what would I do? You know, how would I promote my business? And, you know, I talked about activities for kids and things like that, but a lot of them were concerned about staff
Yeah.
and exactly what goods they would be able to deliver. So
Interesting, okay.
they were challenged there.
A reminder that, you know, if they need ideas on brainstorming activities, like I love station activities for kids, so please feel free to point them my way.
Okay. So, moving quickly on. Do we have any additional public comment?
One moment, I do not believe so, but I'm going to check here. We do not have anyone online.
Okay. And so, next, from a planning calendar perspective, our next meeting is on June 8th. And
Chair Majors,
yes,
I will not be there. I'm just giving you the heads up. It is my son's final middle school choir concert. So we are otherwise engaged that evening.
for a very important reason. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. Thank you for letting us know. Okay. With that, unless there's anything else that we would like to discuss, I would declare this meeting adjourned. Thanks to all. And so, off the record or after the meeting, we have some cupcakes here to celebrate birthday girl's birthday here.